Hey, what's up, guys? Dale Valor here. We're gonna knock out this question and answer session that we tried to do about an hour ago, and just a failure of communication. Oh, there he goes, right here. All right, to patch through, and we'll knock it out. What's up, Max Manis? I see you. Hey, Diogo. How you doing, man?
What's up, bro?
Hey, how do you pronounce your name?
Diogo.
Diogo. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. I appreciate you, linking up with me on here. I know we had a little failure of communication, but all good. That's the beautiful thing about like doing stuff on Instagram or Facebook Live or anything like that. It doesn't have to be like a set schedule. You know what I mean? It's not like, you can kind of just do it whenever you want and whenever you can, So,
True.
yeah. So, hold on, let me talk to the people watching real quick. What's up, Antonio? I see you. Max Manis, thanks for checking in. We're going to do a little, we're going to do a little Q&A, a little question and answer. And so if you guys got any kind of dating or relationship questions, anything along those lines in that context, feel free to throw it out, and we'll both chop it up about whatever you throw out there. I think it's really dope, man, that like you're in Portugal, I'm in Detroit, and so I'm sure there's a lot of things in terms of game that are the same, but I'm sure that there's differences too. Just because of cultural differences and just the environment as a whole is just different. So I think that's pretty cool, man. What's up, guys? I see you guys hopping in here. So yeah, man. Give me a little of your backstory. Like what's what's kind of your story with game?
Well, that's actually it's not that long of a story, but it was a hell of a ride, I would say. So I started like 3 years ago, and the place that I started from probably was quite dark. Even most people that get into this stuff, they probably came from a very a dark place in a way, or they suffered some setbacks in their lives, and they want to try to get it straight back again. But for me, it was just I had no other alternative because I was such in a dark hole of hell that my only option was just burn the boats and save and swim for my life, because I was a virgin. I was really isolated from socializing and from life. I was just playing video games all day, and I got to a point where I couldn't really stand it anymore. It was really frustrating for me. So yeah, for me it was just that moment where I just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do it or die trying," So
right, that's dope, man. Yeah, and that's a lot of guys' story, man. I mean, Joe Rockmore Valor that works with me. That in large part, that's kind of his story too, man. You're just like a guy that was somewhat introverted, a homebody who just kind of sat up and played video games a lot, and it got to a point where it was just like, I've got to do something. Something has to be done here. And he took action, and and much like yourself, now he's in a position to where he's helping other guys get their journey figured out and get them down that path. So yeah, man, that's super dope. Like that's really cool.
Yeah, and for me,
and I see you guys that hopped in here. We're doing a little question and answer. So if you have any kind of dating or relationship questions or game questions, or I don't know, I look at it as kind of ask me anything. But I don't know if you care about what kind of peanut butter I choose, but it's probably smarter to ask something dating related or game related. Since you have two dating coaches right here. So that seems to make sense to me. But ask whatever you want, So
yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like like my story is somewhat unique in that I didn't start. I didn't. I've been doing game for over 12 years. Okay,
Okay.
and
12.
I didn't start doing game until I was in my 30s. Okay,
Wait, you said 12
and
years, right?
yeah,
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 44.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You
no,
look
I don't look it, do I?
maybe maybe it's the hat. You look more younger. It makes you look more younger.
Well, it's funny, man, because of the whole shutdown thing and everything. I'm like
Yeah,
dying to get a haircut. I need a haircut so bad. And I'm going out. I'm getting one
me
tomorrow.
too,
I got
dude.
to go.
My hair is
Yeah,
like
man.
completely fucking retarded, but yeah.
I know. I feel so shaggy and like you know what I mean. And I usually dye my hair and dye my beard and all that stuff. And it's like I got all this
Okay.
gray coming through, and
I
you know what
see,
I
I
mean.
see. I
But
see, I see.
yeah, man. So I didn't start game till I was my early 30s, and I'm I'm married. I was married then, and I'm married now. Okay,
Okay.
and but I didn't have a whole lot of success before being married. Okay, well then it came to a point to where my wife and I decided to have an open relationship. Right. Well, when that happened, I was like, okay, this is cool because I can go out there and kind of do what I want, but I really don't know what to do. So it was almost kind of like a second lease on life. I was like, all right, so I was terrible before I was married, all right, and so I'm not going to let that opportunity, um, pass me by again. So I was. It was funny, man. I was listening to a radio station one day, uh, and they had somebody on. I don't know if it was Mystery or Neil Strauss because it was like kind of like when the game came out, and uh, in that interview, just like the concepts that was being talked about and thrown around and the different ideas and all that kind of thing, I was blown away. I was like, I've never considered anything like this in my life. Like this is mind blowing. All right. I was like, I've got to find out everything that I could find out about whatever this guy's talking about. And so that's what I did. I think I Googled something along the lines of like how to talk to girls, you know, and I happened to find Neil Strauss had put out a book after the game called The Rules to the Game. And so you know how like the game. Have you ever read the game?
Yeah, yeah,
So you know how like the game is like it's a story, right? It's his personal story.
yeah.
The rules of the game is a tutorial. Okay, so it's like day one, mission one, go out and do this. Day two, mission two, go out and do this, and it progressively gets a little more complicated as time goes by. So I did it. I went out and I did all the missions, and I was like, and I was seeing successes already a month in, and I was like, well, I'm sold. Like I'm gonna keep doing this. And so I just basically, man, I just started. Uh, I kind of did what Neil Strauss did. In the game, he learned under Mystery. Then he's learned under Ross Jeffries. Then he learned under David D'Angelo, and so on and so forth. So I was like, all right, well, I guess this mystery method. So I learned everything I could learn, man. I watched so much YouTube video and reading and
I
going out and
think
applying it.
you just talked about good point is that you should learn not only from one source, you should be able to not only listen to what different people teach, but being able to judge it and apply it and see, field test it and see how it works for you and adapt
Agreed.
to your own
Yep.
style and create your own style and not copy
Exactly.
wherever anyone's doing out there, but actually creating your own style, but adapting the best qualities of every individual, different best individuals out there, and then find your own in the best of them and create your best of you. That's how I coach as well. I don't
Yeah.
tell my students to be like me or to do what I do. It's just that they have to find their own
Yeah.
style.
You're right. I'm 100% with you. So what I did was every month, basically, I would learn about somebody different, right? Like I went through everybody, man, and then what I did was I took what I felt, much like what you just said. I felt like, I'll take something out of Mystery Method that I feel like applies to my personality and who I am, and I'll take from David D'Angelo this part and apply it to what I do and tweak it a little bit so it's my voice saying it as opposed to somebody else's. After a while, man, it just became this homogenous like stew of game, because it was just like so many different pieces and parts, and then you kind of learn on your own and then kind of add your own little mix to it and that kind of thing. And then, so that's basically what I did, man. And over time, it just got better and better and better and better and better. And you learn to calibrate, this, I'm sure. The more that you do it, the more that you go out in the field and experiment and try things. That's where calibration kind of starts to come into play, where you start to like really learn how to calibrate,
Yeah, it's the way I see it is just that you practice it consciously and then it becomes unconscious and you start working in autopilot and you do it autopilot.
Yeah, exactly. You internalize it. It's kind of like driving a car. But when you first start driving a car, you're very conscious of like, okay, what's the speed limit? All right, I'm coming up to a stop sign. Okay, I got to push the brake, and all that kind of stuff. But after a while, it's just pretty much like your mind is elsewhere when you're driving. You know what I mean? You're not worried. You're not thinking about driving. You're thinking about what you're going to do when you get to the place that you're going. So. Yeah, I'm with you 100%. And something you said, man, I really like is that, like the way that you said that you teach is to not become a robot, a carbon copy version of somebody else that, like finding your own voice. I have a philosophy that I talk about a lot that basically says everything works, any kind of game, natural, structured, NLP, all that stuff works, man. You know what I'm saying?
I think it all works. I think it all works to a certain extent. It just depends how congruent are you with those things.
Right.
That's
the first part of it. Exactly. That's the first part of it. Everything works, but what works best for you? You know what I mean? So, like example that I like to use is, any pickup coach on the planet is going to tell you to not go up to a girl and be like, "Hi, my name is Dale. You're pretty. Can I buy you a drink?" I don't coach my students to do that, and I'm sure you don't either.
That might work though if you say it as a joke,
Right. But here's the thing though, dude. There's 7 billion people on the planet. And I would bet dollars to donuts, man, that there's more people on this planet that were born from their dad walking up to their mom being like, "Hi, you're pretty. Can I buy you a drink?" than if you took all the other pickup methods and put it together. You know what I mean? So does walk up to a girl and ask her if you can buy her a drink? Does that work?
I think that itself is not the problem. Is the place is coming from. It's if you're buying her a drink to get, it's like an agenda behind it, and you want to thinking buying a drink is gonna get you laid, or if you just buy her a drink but you don't expect anything in return, but you're an attractive man and things just roll, it's just a place.
Exactly. The second part of that is now, okay, that technique probably wouldn't work for me. Okay, it would be a numbers game at that point. If I did it to 1,000 women, I'm sure some would reciprocate. But the thing is that now, look, if you're a good-looking doctor who drives a BMW and has a really nice house, well, walking up and offer to buy a drink, it probably might land a little better. You know what I'm saying? So that's what would work best for him. Conversely, your guy that's the computer programmer, stereotypical nerdy kind of guy, well, that technique probably isn't going to work for him too well. You know what I mean? He needs to do something else. He needs to do something different, something that's more congruent with who he is, his thought process, and how he learns and how he executes. So
Yeah, I agree that depending on your like, I think the way you are perceived matters in the not in the way that people would think of it. Is like the way you're perceived matters more in the terms of like women like a dominant man, right? So if a guy that's a little like looks like glasses and looks like nerdy, even if it's dominant, the idea that she'll have from him is that is looking at him from the first perspective is like stereotype is like a nerd guy. So maybe that guy needs to be a little bit more intense to kind of like balance out the way he's perceived. So a bit more aggressive, but maybe it's like as a black dude, a big black dude, he doesn't need to do that in a way because he's already kind of perceived as aggressive because of his skin color and his height and everything.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I'm with you. You know what I mean? I'm kind of using broad strokes a little bit. Hey, what's up, man? I see you. Andre, see you in here, man. Yeah, if you guys have any kind of questions, any kind of game questions, relationship questions, throw them out there, man. Like that's what we're for. Yeah, absolutely.
David Von Mule. What's up, bro?
Yeah, so dude, Andre, I'm doing excellent, man. I'm thriving. Just living my life in lockdown, but you know what I'm saying? Like having a good time, man. You know what I'm saying? Can you add me, man? I have some questions. Well, you can throw them out here, man. You know what? I'll send you I'll send you a follow on here. Oh, what's up, Hussein? I see you.
All right. Live stream with John Anthony. Well, John Anthony, I don't know about that. I don't think it's that available for live streams. I only seen John Anthony doing one live stream ever, to be honest. Was with guy from Playing with Fire. Because everyone else he ate, so it's everyone else doesn't do live streams with people they hate.
Well, I see a question here from Andre. He says, do you guys game? And yes, absolutely. That's what we do. That's what we teach. And so yeah, I guess that's the short and simple answer. But that's the thing, dude, is that like in my philosophy of everything works, I can't stand. This drives me up a wall, man. And I'm sure you've seen this. You even seen it. I know you're in the Modern Valor group on Facebook, so I know you've seen this as much as I have. When guys just like only this type of game works. You can't do any other kind of game. It doesn't work unless you do it this way. It's like, come on, man. That's not.
Yeah, because people just want to feel like certain about what they do, so they want to like hold on to something. Yeah, they don't want to learn how to have like their own thoughts and like critical thinking and just judge the things,
Yeah, I got you. All right, well, we got a question here, man. I'll let you go ahead and break it down.
Like this girl used to talk to me. Wait, then she's just stopped. I don't know how to approach her because she doesn't open the snaps. What? Wait, explain that better, man. What do you mean? Like, I'm confused. Like, I like this girl used to talk to me, then she stopped. But wait, is she talking to you? You talk to you in person or over, like, the internet?
I'm assuming he means over Snapchat for the whole thing.
Snapchat, yeah. So you never met her in person, did you?
Yeah, he used to talk to her on Snapchat, and then she stopped answering his snaps. That's what I get her.
Well, now I have to see your snaps, dude, to see what's going on with maybe I don't know, maybe you are too needy or something.
Yeah, Context would be helpful. But I guess a short and quick answer would be, if if she's not opening your snaps, how else are you? And that's the only context or the only vehicle that you have to be in touch with this girl. How else are you going to approach? You know what I mean? Like, unless you know where she lives or something, or you have her phone number, or
it's gonna stalk you.
Right? And you know what I mean? Like, unless you have another avenue in which to contact her, then you can't. If she's not answering, like, just leave it alone.
The advice for you would be like, move on.
That's what I'm saying.
And just fucking go talk to another one. There's billions of girls out there, so who gives a fuck about a single girl? Like, don't get too much attached.
Okay, he followed up. He followed up with some stuff here.
I see her in person, probably. Seems right. I get hooked too quickly. Yeah. Yeah, dude, the problem here is not even like the when you have a problem, usually the problem is solved in a higher thinking. Like, why are you having this problem in the first place? Because you're in scarcity. So go get more girls and you not have this problem anymore. That's how you solve it.
Yeah, man. I agree with that 100%. But if you still see her in person and you want to talk to her in real life, man. I mean, you don't need to. You don't need to rely on. I think too many guys rely on stuff like Snapchat and texting and
and guys like and I see this all the time. They talk too much over there. They should already just try to go for a meeting and not being like flirting over there. Just use it as a tool to get her out in person. That's when things matter.
Yeah, don't use these social media platforms as a crutch. Use it as a tool. Don't use it as something to like support you and hold you up. Use it as something to supplement your game, not to be your only source of of game. He said, "I'm not jacked. I'm not jacked, but I have a good jawline and get nervous talking in person."
Wait, what's the relation between jacked, jawline, talking in person? Like, you can talk to them in person. Are you telling me if you have a bad jawline, you can't talk, or you will not get nervous, or what does that even mean? Like, I'm confused, to be honest with you. What's the relation?
Well, I mean, if you're getting nervous talking in person, that's because
it's not because of your jawline. Definitely not.
I think
not your jawline, dude.
Well, a lot of times, man, people who when you get nervous talking in person, I mean, that's somewhat common. A lot of people experience that. My advice would be going with a game plan. Don't just try to. If you're not the best conversationalist in the world, don't go in there and try to wing it. You know what I'm saying? Have a couple of things that you want to talk about that you already have a good handle on, that you know things about, that you can keep the conversation moving until you can kind of bring up your conversational skills and your social skills. That way, again, you just have more. You know what you're going to be doing before you do it. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Like, I would say other thing. I would say for him to go deeper. If he really wants to go deeper, ask yourself, do you get nervous talking to your best friend? Why you're not getting nervous talking to your best friend and talking to a girl? Why you get nervous? Why you make it so important?
Okay, so he says I can talk to people good. I just can't do it to pretty girls. I don't know why. Yeah, well, the reason why is because you see value in them that you think isn't going to be. It's kind of like a thing of like you said, abundance. Like, here's a scarce resource in front of me, and if I blow it, it's never going to happen again. You know what I mean? So, if you think in the term of abundance, like, look, man, there's so many hot girls and pretty girls and all that kind of stuff. Just because she's pretty does not make her the be all end all of your world. You know what I mean? Like, in
Yeah.
reality, it means very little. It's nice. What's up, Gustavo? I see you, man. It's nice, and it's, and clearly, I mean, that is what you want, that in your life and everything, but you don't want it so much so as that it's detrimental to you. Because look, if what's the example I'm trying to think of, man? Like, if, for instance, you have a job and you make good money, you're not too worried about, like, playing the lottery and things like that, trying to come up on a fortune. You know what I'm saying? Because you have money, it's not that big of a deal to you. So you're
Yeah.
not, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. It's just,
The more you make it a big deal, the more you push it away. The
exactly.
more the more you make it, like, the more in your head it's a big deal. It's difficult. You have to push through. Then the more will struggle.
Yeah,
The more
absolutely.
you
What's up,
the
Alpha? I
more
see
you
you, man.
less will come for you. Yeah. So
What up, Xavier? I see you in here. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions, any game pickup, seduction, dating, relationship questions, throw them out here. I love the fact that we can have kind of different vantage points. Being in two totally different continents, and even though game transcends, there's always some specific stuff. Yeah, she's not perfect. You act every girl the same. I mean, by and large, I believe that to be true.
yeah,
There's some, in my opinion, the girls that are the nines and tens, you give a little bit more of a harder time to than you would like a seven or a six, because
I
the
think
six and seven might be
I think the
offended.
difference is it's that for girls that are more average, it's like they are not completely sure about their own value in society, so it's easier to wrap around your finger on them. But
Yeah, I agree with
and
that.
and,
I agree
and
with
make
that.
them chase you, it's easier for that. But the girls that are more hotter and they have more options, it's not going to be so much of a chase for her. So you're going to be at best at 50-50, be a good exchange. So I mean, you know your value, she knows her value. Nobody's chasing, but nobody's. It's just 50-50. The convo goes.
Uh,
The
I I would I would beg to differ a little bit. I see what you're saying. And by the way, Andre, for sure, man, no worries. I'm glad that we were here to help you out, and I'll definitely, after we get off of here, I'll definitely send you a follow. Um, but in my opinion, in my experience,
hmm
like nines and tens are so used to guys who put them on a pedestal. They're
yeah,
so used to guys that just like, you're so pretty, you're so beautiful. I would do anything for you. Please walk all over me. Please give me scraps of your time. And so the thing is that they're not used to a guy that's secure in himself, that really doesn't need her.
yeah.
Really could almost care less that she's there. And so it makes it different. It makes it you.
And you have to be a little bit more persistent, like in the beginning, because she'll be
Well,
very
yeah, yeah,
skeptical.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm with you. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But when they see that you're non-responsive, that you don't care as much, like every other guy. Why does it? Every other guy does what I want. How come this guy doesn't do what I want? I got to figure this out. It becomes a thing of now. Now she's investing more than you are, and certainly more than the average guy that comes up. Oh, you're pretty. So
Okay.
yeah, I mean that's my thoughts.
Yeah, like I mean, until let's say, like, I was talking more like in the initial phases, like it's harder to get her to chase you in the beginning, but then
Oh,
later
agreed.
on, when
Yeah,
she cracks, she drops the persona, and then
yeah,
and then it's easier to have a more genuine interaction when she gets more into a feminine, because she's used to putting like that masculine, let's say, like mask, because she's perceived in a certain way in a society, so she wants to hold on to that perception of her.
yeah. No, I'm with you. I agree with that 100%. What's up,
So
Action? I see you.
What?
Oh, I was just saying, somebody named Action hopped in here. Quarantine, I see you.
Quarantine next door. Just create this account for the quarantine or what, bro? It's a quarantine.
Is everything shut down where you're at, or are things starting to kind
No,
of reopen a little bit?
the groceries are open. The rest is shut down.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's pretty much the same here. In Detroit, well, in Michigan, we have basically the strictest shutdown procedure going on in the country. And
Really?
other states are like they're open. You know what I mean? Like it's back to business. Here, not so much, and it's killing me, man. I've got half a dozen students that I'm working with that I'm trying to get out and back into the field and coach and that kind of stuff, man. I got a live event coming up next month, and I'm kind of getting worried that it's going to have to be
You're doing
pushed back.
seminar.
So,
It's like a seminar. You do seminars and stuff.
what's that?
You do seminars. You said live events, so you do like some sort of
Yeah.
seminars.
Well, the first one, yeah. I mean, the short answer is I've done a bunch with a different company that I was with, and with RSD Inner Circle groups that they used to have. We used to have live events here every month.
Okay.
That was part of that too. But our first for Modern Valor is going to be May 30th. So the shutdown is supposed to end on the 15th, but every time we get close to that date, our governor pushes it back another 2 weeks. So I'm a
Yeah.
little worried that that's going to happen again, and then we're going to have to push back the live event for a month. I just don't really want to do that. I just want to do it. You know what I mean? I'm excited. I'm amped up. I'm ready to go, and I want to get out here and do some game and teach some game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I think despite the situation, I think this was really useful. This like slowing down and getting kind of isolated, forced to be isolated was for me was really
yeah,
useful to like.
me too. I agree. Yeah, it's kind of a thing of when life gives you lemons, make lemonade kind of situation. Like there's nothing you can do about it. There's not. You just kind of have to roll with the punches. So it was good in the for us in the aspect of I started Modern Valor Dating like a week before the shutdown. So like it's given us ample time to brand build, to try to like get people aware of what it is that we're doing and get some
Yeah,
content out there and you know what I mean and strategize infrastructure, all that kind of stuff. And so it's given us an opportunity to do that, which has been really dope. At the same time, I'm ready to be done. So
yeah.
it's
For
been a
me,
blessing.
it was more of like a kind of like a personal, like being able to like just being with myself and question what I'm doing and where I'm going, and just to get really aligned with that,
Yeah,
and just go
yeah,
deeper and like I don't know, grow as a person. I think solitude is definitely was one of the biggest things for me to grow. Was not
yeah,
actually being out there and taking action is really important. I'm not saying that's not, but like actually having downtime as well to like restore and to like think about your life. It's really important because when you are in the fucking chaos, you can't really think about anything about only for like what's going to do next, what you're going to do next, and you just go like that. So like slowing down and having like some time for yourself is was for me was really fucking
yeah, yeah. I was, at first I was kind of like that, you know what I mean? But like, just the kind of person I am, man, like I'm bouncing off the walls, bro. You know what I mean? Like for real, dude.
why is that?
Like because, man, anybody that knows me. All right. You ask Joe Rockmore Valor, you ask Hussein or Magnus that's in here right now. Anybody that knows me, man, I'm I'm intense. You know what I mean? Like I'm passionate about what I do. And not to say that you're not or anything like that. So please don't take it that way. But I
No, no.
mean, um, I exert a lot of energy all the time. Okay, and for me, I'm a nonstop type of person. Like I'm almost singularly focused on stuff, and I push and I shove and I go and I grab and I pull. You know what I mean? And like to not be able to get out here and like be out in the field is just like, man, you know what I mean? It's just like, oh god, but it's good though too at the same time, like you said, because it's given me time to uh, brand build, put infrastructure in place. I have I own a couple of businesses besides this. I own a real estate company in Detroit. I own one in Atlanta as well,
Okay.
and so I'm not unfamiliar with business building, and so I'm applying all the same business strategies that I apply in real estate to modern valor, and I'm I could do this 16 hours a day, no problem. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I have a
yeah,
similar issue. Like I struggle to like stop, but to a certain extent, I've been trying to work on that because I figured out that it's not sustainable in the long term to being on like going non-stop. You even like I burned out a lot of times because of that,
yeah,
because always be working, always doing something, and then just catch myself like completely fuck my brain just fries. So
yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean, everybody's different, man. You know what I mean? It's just like you have to know your limitations a little bit and like how you respond to things. I've had so many girls tell me that I don't know how to relax. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I can see that actually. I can see that because since we started, I can see like you always like you can like slow down and just like chill, you know. Yeah, you kind of
yeah,
like always
I'm
always
just like
talking.
that. You know, like if I'm the kind of person that like, okay, I can sit down and binge watch a show for a little while or watch a movie, but after that, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to sit at home and watch movie after movie after movie after movie. Like, let's watch all the Star Wars movies. Then we'll watch all the Harry Potter movies. Then we'll watch all the James Bond movies. You know what I mean? Like, I can't do
Yeah.
it. Like, it drives me insane. I feel like I'm just like constantly wasting time. I'm just like, this is such a waste of time. Like, I can't believe I'm sitting here for another movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
So
I go until I crash out of sleep, and then I wake up, go until I crash out. You know what I mean? So it's just I don't know, man. It's how I
so
am. You know?
guys are four guys here, so they have questions like they would like to like maybe about their text game or something like they're struggling with right now. That would be cool if you guys have questions.
Yeah, throw them out. What's up, Christian? I see you. Thanks for hopping in here. Matter of fact, text game. I just dropped a video today on text game. So that came out on the Modern Valor Dating YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yeah. So any of you guys in here, like the links in the bio, I see that as a common problem that a lot of guys have. In Facebook groups and stuff like that, it's a common occurrence to see a guy, like, oh, what went wrong in this text message? Here's the screenshots, and um, I got some pointers on there in that video. I think it came out pretty good. So, check it out. So yeah, but so if you guys got any questions, throw them out.
Can you hear me? Can you hear
I
me, bro?
I can hear somebody.
Yo, can you hear me? Nope.
I don't even
Hello?
know what that was. How'd that happen?
What?
Did you have somebody on the phone or something?
No.
How did I hear a voice? I don't get it.
Wait, can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
I I can hear you.
Oh, okay, okay. I was just checking.
What I'm saying is, I heard a voice,
Okay.
and I don't understand how I heard it. Like,
I don't
did
know.
you bring? Did you like have a call come in or something? Like, I don't get it, man.
I don't think
No,
so.
it doesn't matter.
I don't think
All right,
so.
that was weird.
No, I was just saying
Alright.
that when guys like asking what do I text, what like in the group and stuff like that, that's kind of like it's really useless because if they don't understand the concept, it's like they're gonna always be depending on someone else telling them like do this, text this, and they will
Dude,
never.
I'm barely hearing you right now. Like barely, barely. Oh, there you go. That's better. Yeah. Okay. So what were you saying?
Is it now good now?
No, it's fine. It's fine now. Yeah. So what were you saying?
So yeah, I was just saying that if guys keep like asking in groups and stuff what to text and what to do in this situation, that situation, and then someone gives them the line, they'll never like learn how to be self-sufficient, self-dependent. So
Agreed.
they'll always be like
Absolutely.
completely lost, and they will always be paying for the next product until they
Yep.
go and try to understand really the concepts and the
That,
fundamentals. So they
that's
can.
exactly it. That's exactly you hit the nail right on the head, dude. Um, like what I think one of the things I was talking about in that text game video is, it matters a lot on where you got that number from. You know what I mean? If I'm at a club, for instance, and I meet a girl there, the way I text her is going to be significantly different than if I got her number off of Tinder. You know what I mean? It's going to be way different, because one girl I've already met face to face, we had a conversation and we exchanged numbers, whatever. It's going to be whole different ball game with her than it is from somebody I've never seen before. You know, dude, I can't hear you, man.
Can you hear me? What about now?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Yep.
Okay, like they say, when they post those help me with this text, they never give you like the full context, and the
Right.
details matter, right? So it's like you're gonna give them a vague answer that might work, but you don't have the full situation to judge it. And anyways, even if you do have, if he doesn't understand it, like I had a client asking me to help him to text for him, right? And I did so.
Yeah.
And then he tried to copy my texting in another girl, but the context was completely different, and the girl didn't respond, and he was not understanding why the same text didn't work.
Right.
Different. That's the biggest issue.
Yeah, you know what I call that? That's called vending machine game. I'm going to put in a question, you're going to put out an answer, and I'm going to open up, and it's just going to work. You know what I mean? That's not really how it gets down. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
You're so right in that the context of the situation matters so much. Like, because you can have a guy in a Facebook group or whatever who's like, okay, what did I do wrong in this sequence of text messages? And then you ask for more information, and he's like, oh, yeah, we've been married for 20 years, by the way. You know what I mean? Like, what? You know?
No, the funny thing is they expect you to know that. It's like they're putting that, they're thinking like, oh, I know it, so therefore they all must know it, It's like,
right, exactly. Like I'm supposed to pick up on that because of the way that you text. Like, oh, clearly. Oh, yeah, long-term relationship. Absolutely. You know what I mean? It could be, if you don't know the dynamic as far as like how long, if they're dating, if they've slept together, if you just got their number, 10 minutes ago, if it's a friend, you're in the friend zone, social circle, like all that stuff matters, man. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, of course. I had a guy that sent me texts that he was exchanging with a girl that was already like deep in the friend zone, and he was asking me like, how do I like sleep with this girl? I was like, damn, dude, in order to like turn it around, you have to be so incongruent now. Like you have to, because it's been like a friendly conversation all the fucking all throughout. Now you have to like shift it into try to like find a way to bait and switch it to sexual.
Right.
It's quite
Yeah.
incongruent. It's hard. So guys that want to sleep with their like friends, they're already friends on them, and get to text. So never mind, forget it, move on. Don't try to
Yeah.
like.
I mean, the girl feels hoodwinked. You pulled one over on her. I thought you were this kind of guy. Now you're showing that you're this kind of guy. So therefore I can't trust you. If I can't trust you, I don't respect you. If I don't respect you, I'm not attracted to you. You see?
Yeah,
So
it's like the way I see it's like expectations. It's like you set certain expectations, and the way she perceives you, she wants to keep the way she perceives you aligned. She doesn't want to like have like a worldview and perception completely like scrambled and like, oh, now is this guy, you know? So that's why people want to keep their perception aligned. And if you start acting completely disaligned from what they were expecting from you, then it's gonna be like very fucking weird for them because they're not ready.
Yeah, because she's already calibrated to a certain expectation from you.
Exactly.
And now it's uncalibrated and she doesn't know what to expect. You know what I mean? Yeah, like, but I mean, there are ways that you can like try to turn it around and that kind of thing. You just made it 1,000 times harder on yourself. But you know, I mean, I usually tell people, man, like, give it a go, you know, but don't chase, you know, like, give it a shot. If you, who knows? Maybe you can turn it around. Don't count on it. So don't invest too much. But
yeah, man, I think always the best advice is move on, get better, and stop fucking like holding on to the girl. The whatever girl is not gonna make you. It's not gonna make you grow. It's just gonna hold you back. So yeah, like guys get too attached with a single girl, like thinking about her all fucking day instead of like going out meeting a bunch of girls and like not caring about it anymore is not a concern anymore, you know?
Right.
So it's like,
absolutely.
yeah, instead of like having that problem all the time, just upgrade your concerns, you know? Don't be like stuck in there.
Right. It's like high quality problems versus low quality problems. A low quality problem is what you're talking about. You know, like, oh well, you know, scarcity and if this girl, you know, if I lose this, then that's it. It's a wrap for me. You know, like I can't move on. You know, like it's her or nothing. You know, a high quality problem is I've got too many. I don't have time to do all this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a better problem for sure.
Exactly. Gustavo says also something that is worth considering is that getting hung up on I guess that's a girl, on a girl is detrimental on the long run. Yeah, absolutely. You're just asking for problems if you get hung up on a girl and then she gives in, right? Like,
yeah, that's the worst. Like that's why most relationships fail because the way that the relationship was set up was coming from the wrong place. You were coming from scarcity. She probably came from a place of like she had no better options than you. Not because you were the best option, but just because you were the more comfortable option for her, and she just gave up and stayed with you. But then eventually, she will just like realize like how much of a chode you are, and you will start becoming like this shell version of yourself, and she will drop you, and you'll be even worse.
Absolutely, she has all the leverage, all the leverage. The power dynamic is hers and hers alone. You know what I mean? So she's going to be calling the shots. So if you're comfortable with not being the shot caller, then, you know, get ready.
And then because of that, when she starts giving you shit, you have zero boundaries. You just be like, you just let her do whatever she wants, and then she will disrespect you. She doesn't respect you. She thinks you're fucking like her dog or something.
Right.
Like a fucking little bitch.
I'm glad you said that. You know, one of the things that I really try to reinforce with students is boundaries. I don't think that boundaries gets touched on enough inside of the pickup sphere. Like I don't, you hear it time to time, getting thrown around, but I don't really see too many people really expounding on it and really going deep on it. And I wish more people would. That's something I'm really big on, is making sure that the girl that you're kicking it with knows what your boundaries are. Just for that very thing, man, what we were just talking about.
But I think
So
the boundaries you should like in the relationship, the boundaries should be set like as soon as possible. And I'm talking about when you go
absolutely,
up to her, you already should have set like those boundaries should set right then and there. Because the
yep,
later you set boundaries, the worse will be for you to set them. So you
right.
already should be able to do it like in the first interaction. So, and guys struggle a lot with that because, like, I see this all the time. Like, let's say a girl, you go up to a girl and then she ignores you or something, and a lot of guys would be like, keeping talking, right? But from my perspective, is like you should like show her like you don't allow her to disrespect you like that. You should
Right.
show,
Absolutely.
you know.
Yep. I'm with you 100%. Well, I saw a bunch of new people hopped in here. If you guys have any kind of questions related to game or dating or relationships or anything like that, feel free to throw it out. That's what we're here for. I know that both of us are very passionate about helping guys achieve goals and getting to where it is that they want to be. And so take advantage of the time.
Yeah.
It's definitely a luxury. It's not a necessity or what's the word I'm looking for. I forget the word I'm looking for. But anyway,
No worries.
all right. Okay. Regarding boundaries, this is also a part of a healthy relationship. Not setting and enforcing them leads to all sorts of dysfunctional shit. Exactly. Nail on the head, man. I mean, for real. If people know and respect your boundaries early on, just like you said, dude, then it makes things so much more clear and easier to get along. And because if you respect each other's boundaries, it makes for less like bumping heads. It just
Yeah.
makes things so
It
much.
just sets the right expectations aligned with what we really want. Because I think guys, because they're not very upfront with girls sometimes. Like they give off the vibe like maybe they want looking for a serious relationship or stuff like that. So you should
Yeah,
always being able to like from the first initial introductions already being able to display that what kind of guy you are, what she
yeah,
should expect from you, and
agreed.
if you want to be the kind of guy is a lover and a fuckboy, you shouldn't be perceived in any way as like a potential long-term partner, at least in the beginning. I think
Yeah, agreed.
as a
Yeah,
lover,
man.
yeah,
You know, you touched on something there that I think is a serious issue with guys in game, and that's stating your intent.
yeah,
Like you said, a lot of guys, what they'll do is it's like they try to like shuck and jive the girl by like, oh, I'm in this for the long haul, like I love you, girl. You know what I mean? And they're just trying to sleep with them. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And instead of doing that, just being direct and upfront what it is, what your expectations are, what it is that you want, and if those things align, perfect.
Yeah, the biggest problem with that is that guys are not a lot of guys they go out but they're not trying to get laid. They're trying to get some validation. They're trying to make everyone like them. And the way
Yeah,
I see it is you should go out to not to get with every girl and every girl to like you, but you want to screen out all of the ones that don't to find the ones that do. And
yeah,
that's how you run a good game. It's finding it's being like more polarizing and having that more of an intent at the same time will like maybe get you rejected faster sometimes, but that's a good
mm,
thing because guys
right.
think getting
Now
rejected
it's in
is a
time.
bad thing. Good thing is because getting rejected doesn't waste you time, and time is fucking your most important resource. So if you don't want to waste your time, you just get rejected. You appreciate the rejection because she didn't waste your fucking time.
Right, exactly. And you said another thing too that like I try to touch on a lot when I'm coaching is, and you don't really see this in pickup too often either, but screening. You know,
Yeah.
you should know what it is that's acceptable to you. You know, too many guys are just willing to take whatever comes their way, and without knowing what it is that you want, you're likely to end up with anything. You're not getting a prize. You're getting the consolation prize, just anything. You know, the participation award. You know, so
either that or they just end up in those nice to meet you conversations all the time. Like,
right.
It's like, you know,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I hate nice to meet you. Nice to meet you is like worse than like fuck off, to be honest. Like for me, it's like if I hear that fucking nice to meet you, I'm like, fuck you. Like I hate you. Fuck you.
Just sitting around for a half hour exchanging pleasantries. You know, like, who wants to do that?
Sheer waste of fucking time. Like so disgusting, dude.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Bernard? I see you in here. But yeah, if you guys have any dating questions, relationship questions, game questions, whatever the case might be, throw it out. We're happy to engage. We're happy to have that conversation, and you know, hopefully help you improve. Gustavo says, I believe you probably have sex when you are ready, or probably should have sex when you are ready, preferably with someone with whom you respect, trust, and communicate your wants and needs. I think that's a healthy way to do it. But
like I think like the I don't know what he means. I'm gonna say what I think about that, and then maybe you can relate to what he said. But I think sex should be one of the first things you do in a relationship, because people want to try to say that sex is like not important in a relationship, but sex is literally the most important thing in a sexual relationship, because if you don't have sexual chemistry with a girl in general, or if you don't have sexual connection, then you're wasting your time and that relationship will not work out. So you want to in my view, you want to be like straight to the point. You want to like get the logistics, be very methodical about it, get it fast, get the sex the sex part over with, and then you can be real with her. That's the way I see it. Like after sex you can like see, okay, maybe let's see if there is anything else more than just a physical relationship here, you know?
Yeah, I kind of feel like that, you know, here's the thing, man. Game to me is amoral. You know, like I look at it kind of like a gun. All right. So like, you know, you give somebody a gun and they can go out and rob a bank and shoot a bunch of people, right? Well, conversely, they can also sit up and protect their family from, robbers trying to come in and steal and potentially kill them, you know? So, so that it's not the gun isn't good or bad in and of itself. The gun's just a gun. It's who's wielding the gun is what determines if it's going to be good or bad, right? So I think game in the same context, you know, it's like some people use game to be manipulative, to the dark side of game. Let's put it that way. You know, other people, I use it because, who knows, man? Like everybody's different. One guy wants a girlfriend, another guy wants to get married at some point, another guy just wants to bang a bunch of girls. One guy, you know what I mean? Like everybody's different in their wants, Mm-hmm. So like I think like Gustavo just said, to that regard, I would argue that yes, chemistry is important. However, as much fun as that is, there's a risk associated with it. Everything's a risk, man. You know what I mean? And so it's just choosing your risks. You know, dude, I've got 12 seconds before this is going to cut off on me. So just want to say, dude, look, man, appreciate you coming on with me and everything. It was a good time. And I'll be talking to you